Food is one of the most important aspects of our lives. Whether it be to take sweet Instagram pics of, or to survive, they play a very important role in our lifestyle. In the average lifespan, we as humans eat about 35 tons of food. However, many of us don't really think about what makes up those 35 tons. Believe it or not, many of us do not realize what's in our food before consuming it. Many people do not ask the important questions, like why is that jelly bean red, or why does this soda taste like strawberries? The production of food takes quite a lot more thought and effort into making items taste, smell, look, and last the way they do. In order for the quality, appeal, and processing of food to increase, foods need to be enhanced by outside sources. This is where food additives come into play. Food Forward is a company dedicated to the research and production of additives found in your favorite foods. Food additives are substances added to foods to enhance them. For example, antioxidants slow down the rate at which foods oxidize and prevent them from spoiling or changing to a weird, nasty color. Preservatives, on the other hand, prevent the degradation of foods by preventing the growth of bacteria that break down or consume foods. Flavorings enhance the flavor of foods or give them an entirely new taste. Dyes make them look more appetizing. Finally, emulsifiers allow two normally unmixable liquids to blend, and together, all these additives improve what we eat, appearance and quality-wise. Here's a more in-depth look. Emulsifiers. Before you can understand what emulsifiers do, you need to know how polar and nonpolar substances interact. Here's a small description. Emulsifiers allow nonpolar and polar substances to blend, like oil and water. Notice how after emulsion, the oil droplets are now dispersed in the water, instead of being in its own layer. The hydrophobic and hydrophilic components of an emulsifier bind polar and nonpolar liquids together. Here are some examples of emulsifiers.
Mayonnaise is egg yolks, vinegar or lemon juice, and oil. Let's get on with it. Come forth. So the egg yolks have gone in, okay? We're using a balloon whisk. Let's go for a mustard. I'm using a Dijon mustard. Absolutely, you could use any mustard you want. I'm going a heaped teaspoon, goes in. Why it gets a little complicated for some people is if you add the oil too quick, it splits. The egg yolk and the mustard is going to grab hold onto the oil and the water, and it's just going to hold it in as one, okay? We just got to take our time and use our senses. That's what I love about it. That's what I love about cooking.
The egg yolk and mustard acted as emulsifiers to bind the oil and lemon juice together.
Gorgeous, made out of wonderful ingredients. We've now got a mayonnaise that's full of life, full of flavour. Look at that, look how shiny and gorgeous that is.
Artificial flavoring. Ever wonder why your lollipop tastes like strawberries? Well, that's because of artificial flavors. Esters are the major components in food that make them have some of the flavors that they do. Here's a generic ester made of a carboxylic acid and alcohol and joined together by an ester linkage. Examples of non-ester artificial flavors are MSG and aspartame. Artificial colors. Now it's time to answer why that jelly bean is really red. color of the food dye depends on the vibration of the electrons, the wavelength it is impacted by, and the color it reflects. Watch how the food dye changes the color and composition of the water. In this case, the water is now reflecting a red color. Preservatives. Ever wonder why that bread hasn't gone bad yet? It's because food preservatives are protecting them from decaying. Without preservatives, these foods would decompose much faster. Examples of preservatives are vinegar, benzoates, nitrates, nitrites, and sorbic acids. Antioxidants. Here's some background information about oxidation and what it does to foods. Oxidation occurs when an entity loses electrons and gains a higher oxidation state. And here's what antioxidants do. The antioxidant donates an electron to the free radical. Examples of antioxidants are vitamin C, vitamin E, propyl gallate, tocopherols, butylated hydroxynols, and butylated hydroxytoluenes. Here are the main advantages of food additives. Food additives have the ability to make food way more appealing than they originally would have turned out without the use of dyes and artificial colorings. This means that more foods can be made to be enjoyable and visually appetizing to us. For example, a piece of gray candy would not be as eaten as readily as a piece of red candy, because who wants to eat a weird-looking gray Jolly Rancher? They also give us the ability to have fun-colored foods. Artificial flavorings make it easier to mimic the taste of one distinct flavor in another product. This means we can create other foods that taste like things. It is also less expensive to create a product with a natural flavor by using the actual spice, fruit, vegetable, etc. from where the flavor is derived from. Emulsifiers can mix two liquids that are usually unblendable with each other. This means that we have the ability to make a variety of foods that require the use of fats and oils with less dense or polar liquids like vinegar and water. This way we can create thicker, almost semi-solid food items like mayonnaise, salad dressing, ice cream, and more. Preservatives and antioxidants both have the ability to increase the shelf life of the food and prevent them from spoiling and going rancid quick. As a result, we can store foods longer and less is wasted. Finally, all these additives together create revenue and are less expensive than finding the natural wholesome additive. Therefore, more benefiting foods can be made for less money, and therefore, more higher quality, long-lasting, and appealing foods can be made for less as well. It is important to remember that all foods are made of chemicals that are either natural or synthetic, so remember not to be afraid of the food additives in your food. So next time you want to put a filter on your food picture, use the food additive instead.